Something like that, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Something around in them parts. Something over there.
Mm-hmm.
Who done did that there?
Ain't nobody know. Tell you what.
I don't give a shit if I'm famous or not.
God damn!
So,
Fucking missed you.
I missed you too. Too much, so much.
Yeah,
and let's stop doing like family things so that you and I can hang out.
Please. Yeah. Except that Christmas is coming.
I'm not going anywhere, are you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I have family out of town, man.
Why?
I don't know, because everyone's dumb and moved away.
This is so dumb.
So dumb.
They should have stuck around.
They were like, what? California and all your high prices? I'm going to leave and not pay that. And I was like, dummies.
idiots.
I'm
You
gonna
should give up
stay
all
here.
your money so you could be close to me.
I'm going to stay here and be poor.
Help me, I'm poor. Where are you going?
Tucson.
Oh, at least it's not that far.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but we're going to be together for New Year's? So we can kiss
Yeah,
when the
yeah.
ball drops?
Yeah. Obviously. So we need to stay together for the entire year. Oh, man.
Oh,
we have
no.
so many fucking pod goals and things to do
There's a lot
in
happening.
December right now. Yeah.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
now. Like
right.
Operation Moonblood.
Right now. Yeah, you're fucking crushing it, by
Crushing
the way.
it slowly but surely.
Thank
trying to
you.
figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you for going through all that. I like how
I got
everyone
your
was
back.
like, "Are you guys doing that?" And I was like, "Yeah." Now do it, Stacy.
I was like, should we? I remember last year I was like, that was real hard. Maybe
Yeah.
we should take a year off. But it's totally worth it to help everybody. So
It is, and we've actually gotten quite a few people reaching out. So it's
I
really
know.
nice.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
On a different note, though, I'm going to be a Debbie Downer for a second.
Uh-oh.
My life has been such shit the last few days that my loving husband ordered me a Starbucks matcha green tea.
What a guy.
I know.
What a guy.
Isn't that better than flowers?
It is, honestly.
Like, fuck your flowers. Give me caffeine.
Fuck your flowers.
Feed my addiction.
Yeah.
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 So anyway.
I like that. Actually, I saw it earlier, and I thought to myself, I wonder if she went to Starbucks or if she ordered it like a bougie bitch.
Bougie ass bitch, although I didn't even order it.
I love that journey for you.
Honestly, I thought you were going to text me with a Starbies ? So I wasn't even concerned about it. I wasn't even concerned about it. And then all of a sudden, I received a delivery and Lee sent me an email because he knew not to. Well, he probably texted me too, but he sent me an email and he's like, look outside. Because I'm like so engrossed with work.
Look outside. Someone's here for you.
And then voila.
What a guy.
Isn't that the best?
That is the
My
best.
day is so much better.
Ugh, I'm jealous.
But this leads me to my goddamn, if you want to know why
Your day is shit.
everything is shit.
Yes, I do.
Because I've shared so much on this podcast already. But it was my father's birthday yesterday.
That's fucking rough, man.
I know. And I didn't even realize it until I was at a physical therapy appointment for my fucking jaw. Don't even get me started on that either. Everything, it's just, life has been falling apart for a while now. So I was at a physical therapy appointment and waiting to be seen. And I go on Facebook and on like our family group, it was like, happy heavenly birthday, Navarro. And I was like, stab straight to the heart picture of my
Yeah.
dad. And I'm like, fuck, it's his birthday. First of all, feel guilty didn't remember that.
well, I mean, he can't be like, you didn't remember?
Yeah. How dare you? Honestly, we forgot his birthday so many times when he was alive, too.
Aww.
I know, isn't that sad?
Poor guy.
I know, he always handled it like a trooper. And then,
what dads do.
second of all, it's like, okay, well, let's try not to cry right before we're going to have to go do some jaw work in the back with old Julie.
She's like, okay, stretch it out. And you're like, just sobbing.
Yeah. I stretched it out in the break room or waiting room, sobbing my eyes out. Anyway, so
I
yeah.
saw it on Facebook last night, but at like 11 p.m. And I was like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
Did
like,
you?
oh no. Oh no. I was going to text you. And then I was like, it's really
I was long
late.
asleep at 11. I was long asleep. No, it took, it was good. I had a therapy session that day, which also therapy. My therapist left me. She broke up with me. I think I mentioned that.
Yeah, that bitch. So
I
is
loved
she-
her. Don't
this-
call her a bitch.
Too soon? Got
Too
it.
soon. She was a beautiful soul.
You're better than her. You deserve better. You deserve more. So is this a new therapist relationship?
New therapist. It was my very first day.
Okay.
With
How do
my
you
new
feel
therapist.
about him?
Oh, I really like her so far.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But
That's good.
listen, I can't keep up with life.
Yeah.
People dying,
Yeah, it's rough.
therapists leaving me.
Well, let's hope nobody else dies.
Oh my God.
For,
Could
like,
you imagine?
a minute.
No, I need a break.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited because we're going to Vegas soon.
Oh my God, I'm so
Mom's trip.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
I'm so excited. Hands
Me
in.
too. Hands in. 1, 2, 3, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
So, Erin, give me your goddamn.
Well,
All right, pretty lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9, she's a 10, I know.
I buy my rock stars in 3 because it's 3 for $5.55 or some bullshit.
Who
right?
wouldn't?
Right?
You know?
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need to come here every day, sir. I'll come here every 3 days.
Yeah.
So
That's twice a week.
That's twice a week. It's not
I
even
can
bad.
handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got my 3 and I fucking scooted them to my Jeep and I put them in there and I put 1 in my cup holder and then 2 in my cup holders because you have 2 cup holders there.
Smart.
And then 1 on the passenger seat there. And I drive away like I do every 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Standard practice.
Standard practice. Everything is fine. And then I had to get gas or something. I don't know what I was doing, but I was driving and then I braked.
Uh-oh.
Like a normal person.
Yeah.
It was not an aggressive braking. It was not anything. But my Rockstar rolled off the passenger seat and hit the ground. And I was like, that's normal.
Do you have
Happens
the
all
doors
time.
on?
Yes, the doors are on.
Okay.
But that happens all the time. Stuff rolls off and even drinks roll off and they hit the ground over there.
Yeah.
Everything's
Always
fine.
your purse. Your purse comes
Yeah.
flying out of the passenger seat onto the floorboard.
All 16 chapsticks are
Yeah.
fucking everywhere
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened. And I was like, that's fine. In a split second, I had that, that's fine. It fucking exploded. And it
No.
didn't just explode like a little one little thing. It was like a goddamn bomb went off in my Jeep fucking
No.
everywhere. It was on the ceiling. It was on me. It was in my hair. It was in my eyes. It was
No.
on my sunglasses. It was fucking
You got
everywhere.
maced.
It was everywhere.
No.
And it smelled delicious.
yeah. It smelled like a Slurpee.
Goddamn My Little Ponies in my car. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like waiting to turn left into this place, but I was behind a car who was also waiting to turn left or whatever. And they were not being aggressive enough about turning left
Like
into this.
going.
Yeah, into going so that I could just park and like, I don't know, wipe
Assess the
down the
situation.
fucking inside of my car.
Yeah.
Like figure myself out. And so I'm just sitting there and then it's just spraying in the fucking passenger whatever floorboard over there. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm still driving. And then it's just dripping from the ceiling now onto
Oh
my
my
hair and my like
God.
clothes and everything. And I was like drenched in it.
You need like
That's it.
You need like a spare jacket to toss over it if that ever happens again.
Right? Like a fucking
Shield.
Yeah. Jump on the grenade thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So then I finally get pulled into the gas station, which is what I was trying to pull into because I was like, oh, I need to fucking assess the situation.
Yeah.
And I pull up and there's
See the damage here.
there's right next to me is the guy that works beside me. And he's like, how's it going? And I'm like, fucking great.
Terrible. Because
Right?
you're like windshield wipering your glasses off.
Exactly.
Do you
But-
see I'm covered in sticky syrup right now?
Right? And I have
Fuck off.
8,000 paper towels from the gas station thing that I'm trying to sop up in my car.
Oh my God.
Only bonus side is the last time Brandon got my car detailed, the guy lost the plug to one of my mats, to my passenger side
Oh,
mat.
yeah.
So they have plugs so you can like hose them down or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where the plug went. It's fucking gone. So now there's just like a hole in the passenger side.
It
So
drained
all-
out?
Yeah, it all drained out right there. And they're all weather
Oh.
mats. So then it all just fucking kind of went like that. So I really only had to wipe down myself,
and the ceiling.
the ceiling, the fucking seats, but like mostly plastic stuff. So it wasn't as
Oh,
bad.
nice.
And I just kind of like squeegeed it all to the middle there.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the hole was and just let it go.
Does
off
it
the
just
bottom.
go out of the bottom of the car?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Oh, I
You could,
never
like,
knew that.
throw trash down there. And it would
Do you
just
feel a breeze blowing on your toes?
It's on the passenger side, so I'm assuming they might. Yeah, you
I'll
can
let
hear
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know next time.
Yeah. Now I'm like,
How
why
the
is
fuck
it
does a
louder?
detail person lose a plug like that? Like, that's your one job.
Well, he took out the mats, and I assume it fell out, and then
Yeah, but like, come
I
on.
remember seeing it too, like on the driveway. I picked it up, and I remember looking at it and looking at Brandon, going, "What is this for?" Because like it looks familiar, but not familiar enough. And I
Yeah.
was like, "What is this?" And he was like, "I don't know. It looks familiar." And then I put it somewhere, and it's fucking gone.
Yeah, that happens every time.
Yep.
Every
Yep.
time. Okay, so my house, not to get too far off subject, but my house is just like a grab bag of random shit. Like nothing actually goes where it should go. Like, oh, you need some ibuprofen, you would think to go check the medicine cabinet, but instead it's sitting next to our stove by the knife block.
Yeah, like obviously.
Because that's where it goes. Yeah, I don't know why, but that's where it is. Well, occasionally I'll get this hair up my ass and I'll be like, I'm going to put everything where it goes. and then I can never find shit.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Lee has these like, you know, the things that you put on your glasses so they can hang around your neck?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he has them for sports, you know?
Oh,
So
yeah,
when
yeah.
he's speeding by like Sonic, his glasses stay on his head. And he bought like a 55,000 pack, and they've been sitting on our kitchen counter forever. And I recently cleaned up the kitchen counter because that is one of the banes of my existence. Like
Yeah.
everything just clutters there.
Yeah, the fucking island, the counter, all your old mail and shit.
Yes, exactly. And so I put them somewhere, but
Now they're gone.
they're gone forever. Lee last night was like, "Where are they?" And I'm like, "Ooh."
I put them away.
Yeah.
And just see where he thinks away is.
I know. Well, you know, something like medicine, you can think like, "Oh, I'll check the like there's a couple
Yeah.
of logical spots you can think of. But
Yeah.
like what would you do with eyeglass holder things?
I have like a catch-all,
Like an everything drawer?
like an everything drawer, but it's like an everything bookcase.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, we have that too, but
it's
it's
like multiple
actually our
drawers.
antique sewing machine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe they got put there, but we didn't look. And I don't know for sure, but it's like one of those things where you're like, fuck, man, this is why I don't clean up.
Right? This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we got to leave shit everywhere so that we can actually use it.
Yeah, it's perfectly organized chaos.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, are you ready for today's case?
I am so ready.
It is, as we say, a motherfucking doozy.
Is it the same kind of doozy that yours was last time?
No.
Okay.
Have you seen all the comments on that though?
Yeah, everyone is like, God damn, Stacey.
I had to stop it. I couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
I would like to publicly apologize for that last episode I did.
I would like you to publicly apologize too. Blah, 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 blah.
But also, no guarantees that I won't pick another case like that in the near future.
Yeah. Did you see someone else was like, hey, Aaron, you drag us through all these like baby ones.
Yeah,
So fucking
deserve
buckle
it.
up, bitch. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Exactly. See, we're into the torture, but
Yeah.
also,
Not.
you know, we'll give you some eye bleach here and there or ear bleach.
Yeah, ear bleach here and again, but
Yeah,
that was a rough
That
one.
was pretty rough.
yeah.
No, it's not that rough, but it is very intriguing.
Ooh.
So
okay.
actually, this case that's going on right now, it's an ongoing, so spoiler alert, it's an ongoing investigation.
Okay.
It's really big in the news right now, which is
Uh-oh.
not our standard. Like
No.
normally we go for stuff that people haven't heard of.
Yeah.
But I had not heard of it. And I
Okay.
accidentally somehow stumbled on it when I was looking for a case. And then I realized, oh wow, this is like really still going on and everywhere. And then I text you asking if you had heard of it, and you said no. So that was enough for me to say we're covering this case.
I like it.
And honestly, it's good. It's good exposure, right? Like to
Right.
get it out there. It's unsolved at this moment. So
So what is it?
it is about the University of Idaho students.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
all over the news right now. So people may or may not have already heard this. Also, because it's so current and still going on right now, by the time you hear this, half the shit I say may already be obsolete or not correct or whatever, because a lot of the information is being withheld from the public. And so you have to piece together some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you haven't heard of this, fucking be shocked because it's going on right now. It just happened. And if you have heard of this, stick around because I did some fucking digging.
Ooh.
Because
we got a
every
little-
article I read gave me like a new little Easter egg. So
Yeah.
I tried to compile it all in one place for you so you don't have to go digging.
All right.
So
Got a little Stacy detective on the
little
case.
Stacy detective that probably is speculating wildly on a lot of incorrect things, but it's worth it. And that's why we're here, right?
That's what we do.
Okay. Join me on this journey.
I'm joined.
In November of 2022, so literally last month,
Wow.
like yesterday,
Yeah, right?
there's 5 University of Idaho students all lived together in a rented home. And that home was just outside of campus. Like
Okay.
you would probably consider it campus, but technically speaking, it was not on campus grounds.
Okay.
But it was all around, like, you know, what do they call it? Sorority row,
Yeah,
where all
yeah.
the frat houses are and all that shit. Oops.
It's like a little mini dorm.
Exactly. A little mini dorm. But this is a house, and there were 5 students that were renting from it.
I did that and we got yelled at by someone, and the neighbors tried to get us shut down. 'Cause
Oh,
they were
shit.
like, you're running a mini dorm. And I was like, half of us don't go to college.
Yeah, we're just trying to live here in general, outside of school.
It's just expensive.
Yeah, we're poor.
And we're young, so you think we're students.
Yeah, we are going to act like them, though.
Yeah.
We will throw parties every day.
Anyway, we're having a kegger. You want to come over?
All you have to do is bring a cup. This house was located at 1122 King Road in the small town of Moscow, Idaho.
Okay. This is like Russia.
Not
The
Russia.
small town of Moscow.
In the Russia motherland.
I'm pretty sure it's a big town.
No. This is in Idaho.
Okay.
But in case you're from around there, you can go scope it out.
Yeah.
So these 5 students, they consisted of 2 best friends, which were Madison Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves, who's 21,
Okay.
as well as Zaina Kernoodle, who's 20,
Okay.
Dylan Monson, and Bethany Funk, who are both 19. Now, Dylan is a girl.
Oh, okay.
So these are all girls that live together.
Okay.
Zaina did have a boyfriend by the name of Ethan Chapin, who is 20. And it's not really clear if he lived in the house or if he just visited all the time and basically was a roomie or what.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of conflicting stories as to whether or not he lived there. But,
Okay. He probably stays there a lot if he's a
oh,
boyfriend.
sure. Yeah, exactly. So for the sake of the story, there's 6 people living in this house a majority of the time.
Okay.
Now, Kaylee and Morgan, the 2 best friends, they had been best friends since 6th grade and they went to high school together.
Fun.
So, yeah, I know, right? Us.
Yeah.
Except for not 6th grade. We're like freshman year.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
It's close.
Okay, so when it came time to go to college, it was only natural that they were going to go to the same university and they were going to rent a room together and all this stuff, right?
Yeah. The perfect dream.
Exactly. I'm not sure how the rest of the students all found each other to go live together, but it's clear off of social media that they were a very tight-knit group of friends.
Okay.
Like Kaylee had recently posted on her Instagram a picture of all of the roomies together, and she said something like, "Oh, I'm so blessed to have all of these people in my lives." Something like that. They're all really close.
Very nice.
On November 12th, 2022, which is a Saturday, Kaylee and Madison went out to a local bar and they had a few drinks. Whoop, whoop. At around 1:30 in the morning, the pair was seen on surveillance footage leaving that bar,
Okay.
leaving the bar that they went to, and they stopped at a local food truck called Grub Truck.
Sounds delightful.
Tits. I looked up what they offered. Bomb food. It looked like it was like $3 tacos, like, you know, everything you would want
Yeah,
at the
drunk
end of a
food.
night. Exactly.
Yeah.
And very reasonably priced from what I could tell.
Oof. I want that now.
I know. Like, nobody wants a $10 taco after partying all night.
Right?
you
Or
want,
like a euro.
Yeah. No.
No.
You want that dirty shit.
I want like cat food tacos.
Yeah. I'm going to be shitting all of the poison out of my body tomorrow morning with the booze poos anyway. I might as well add cat food tacos to the mix.
So, a little off topic. Do you remember talking the other night about downtown and the hot dog vendors?
Yeah.
Apparently, just like recently, like a month or 2 ago, one of them got stabbed. One of
Oh,
the hot dog
shit.
vendors stabbed another hot dog vendor because
No.
he was all up in his turf.
No.
Yeah.
I
Hot
didn't
dog
even know
wars.
they had knives. Hot dog wars. What do you need a knife for? To cut the buns?
Maybe it was like his own knife.
Oh, no. He
Not
brought a shank to the hot dog fight.
not a culinary knife. He's like, this is my killing knife.
Oh, no. That's
I don't think
so
the guy died.
unfortunate.
I don't remember, but
Could you imagine? Like, not over my job.
not over my job, especially
Selling
if it's
hot
hot
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
But if that's his livelihood and that's his turf, that's his whole fucking thing.
Man,
yeah.
none of them have names or stands. It's just like the stainless steel
cart.
hot dog cart. Like,
Yeah.
where do you acquire that? I don't know. It must be on Amazon.
I don't either, but apparently they have very solid turf lines.
Better fucking, you can't just show up there with a cart any day, huh?
No, you'll get stabbed.
Wow. I wonder if food trucks are like that.
Probably.
Whew, like 2 taco trucks in the same area? Mm-mm. I got this line, Taco Man.
Ram your car.
Could you imagine?
I'll bet it gets pretty heated.
Dicey. It
Turf
sounds
wars.
like it.
Dicey.
Yeah, who knew?
Dicey out here in the hot dog streets.
Oh no! My gosh. Okay, so Grub Truck, they're eating their delicious food. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Got it.
They then call what the articles are saying, a private party ride company.
Uber.
Right? I'm like, it's Uber. Okay, so here's the thing. Police initially released that this was an Uber that they called and then later recanted it and said it was a private party that gave them a ride. But I'm guessing maybe Uber was like, hey man, don't fucking put our name with this story.
Yeah. We don't really want to be associated with this.
With the bad things that you're about to tell.
Yeah. I
I'm
could
guessing,
imagine that's what happened.
or they want to protect the identity of the driver, so they don't want to release the name of the company or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. But either which way, I'm assuming they call an Uber and they get a
Or-
ride.
or
Yeah.
it was actually a Lyft, but no one says, like, then they called a Lyft. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, can you call an Uber? And it's always a Lyft. Like,
Oh, and they're like, fuck, man. And Uber's all pissed because they're like, we didn't do that.
yeah. Or Uber's like, actually, we had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, keep
And
our
they're
name
like,
out of this.
Fine, it was a third party.
And Lyft is like, man, don't say us. People barely use us as is.
I use Lyft all the time.
You do use Lyft all the time, but Lyft is more expensive for me than Uber.
Uber's more expensive for me than Lyft.
It's probably because I Uber Eats everything.
That is why.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's now 1:40 in the morning, so they spend 10 minutes getting down on tacos,
Okay.
and they call their Uber
Okay.
or Lyft or private party, whatever.
Okay.
The Uber Lyft thing,
Not Uber. The not Uber. The maybe not Uber.
the people giving them a ride have
The
evidence.
chauffeur shows up.
Yeah, have evidence showing that the two best friends were dropped off at home at 1:56 a.m.
Okay.
So
How do
now,
they have evidence of that? Do they have video of
well,
them
like your
walking?
app. I'm guessing your app, right? It tells you when you're dropped off and picked
Yeah.
up, and it like fucking tracks your location.
Yeah. All right. We're not suspicious of the driver, though. They
Well,
can go.
you could be. I don't
Okay,
know.
I am.
We're gonna get into it.
Always
Yeah.
am.
So right now we're already like suspect number one. Mm-hmm. Uber driver guy.
Possibly not Uber driver.
Yeah. Oh, also we're day recording, so sorry about the dogs.
Yeah.
So now Ethan and Zaina, the couple that were living there, they had attended a frat party that was within walking distance of the home
Oh, fun.
off of Kings Road. Yeah, super fun. They returned home just a little bit before Kaylee and Morgan did.
Okay.
The other two roommates, Dylan and Bethany, they were out of the home that night as well. I'm guessing they went to a party, but it's not clear like which party or where they went. It's not really reported, but they returned home about 1 a.m. So they were home first. Then Zaina and Ethan returned home, and then Kaylee and Morgan.
Okay.
But everybody's home now.
Everybody's home. And
Yep.
it's almost 2 in the morning.
It's almost 2 in the morning. It's basically 2 in the morning. Now, just a little bit about this home that they rented. The way that it is laid out is there are 3 stories, and the first floor is sort of built into a hill or a grade. So the front door opens up into this, quote, parking lot area. I mean, it really is it's like a driveway, but it is literally paved. The driveway is like paved all the way up to the house.
Okay.
So people park there all the time. So it is kind of like a parking lot, but it's for this house. So the front door opens up into that graveled or paved area. The first floor is kind of built into a hill. And then the second floor has a back door that is a sliding glass back door that if you were to come from the backyard, looks like the first floor of the house, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
almost like a half basement, half first floor,
Yeah.
depending on what side of the house you're looking at.
Yeah. It's like my house.
Yeah, exactly. Like how your house is built into the hill.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is in this case. And
Okay.
so depending on where you're standing tells you how many floors the house has or not.
Like one side has 3 stories, one side has 2 stories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that second story floor is where you could enter through a sliding glass door.
Gotcha.
And then there's a third story floor that just is at the top of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nothing special about that.
exactly. The first floor is where Bethany and Dylan resided. Their rooms were.
Okay.
The second floor is where Zaina and Ethan stayed. Their room was. And then the third story is where Kaylee and Morgan had their rooms.
Okay.
So that's kind of the layout of what's going on inside of this house.
Nice. That sounds like a nice house.
Yeah, right? Well, actually, honestly, looking at the pictures, it's a little rundown. It's like what you would rent to college students.
All right.
Now, on the third floor, there's a balcony that leads to a sliding glass door to one of those rooms at the top floor. So there's
Okay.
3 entry points into this house that are doors.
Okay.
Now, that night, all of the roommates, they go to bed. They're all drunk. I'm assuming they're all drunk. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. This is a
Come on.
Saturday night.
You were at
Saturday
a
night.
frat party.
Yeah, so pretty typical for Saturday night.
You're either drunk or roofied.
Exactly. You're
Either
not
way, you're
not
going to
just
bed.
home and like that was a fun party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally sober, going to sleep.
That was fun.
So everything was normal until at 11:38 a.m. Sunday morning, the next morning, a 911 call is placed reporting a quote unconscious person in the rental home.
From whom?
From whom is a great question. So the police arrive and they find that the first 2 roommates on the first floor, Dylan and Bethany, they're there along with allegedly somebody else. Now, there's differing accounts depending on what article you read, but there's somebody else there who is not identified, possibly.
Okay. Maybe just a buddy.
Yeah, like maybe Dylan and Bethany were going to go do something with somebody and that person came over and they were like, hey, let me just go tell my roomie real quick or something like that. And then they found somebody unconscious and like freaked out. But it's not clear who they found and it's not clear who called But it is confirmed that the 911 phone call was placed by either Dylan or Bethany's cell phone.
Okay.
So one of their phones. But also it was kind of confusing because it sounded like it could have been that third person that we're not sure who it was made the phone call but used the
One of their
roomies' phones.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like I'm imagining had you found an unconscious person, you would probably call me if I were close by.
Yeah, if
be like,
you
"Oh,
were
no."
fucking next door or
Like
something.
at a frat party next door.
Yeah.
That within walking distance.
Yeah, I'd be like, come handle this.
Yeah.
with
Should
me.
we call 911? And I'd be like, what the fuck? Yes.
Give me your goddamn phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm imagining, but it's kind of hard to tell. I'm
Yeah.
speculating on that part.
Okay.
Okay, so when the police arrived, they discovered that it's not just one unconscious person, but that all 4 roommates, Madison, Kaylee, Zaina, and Ethan, had all been brutally murdered in their sleep,
What the fuck?
while Dylan and Bethany slept downstairs.
What the fuck?
Totally unharmed, never woke up, nothing. They're totally unaware of
Well, they
what
could have
happened.
been drunk.
That's why I was thinking everybody had to be super drunk.
Yeah.
Or maybe they know something.
Ooh.
You don't know. You don't know. Not trying
And
to
they
explain.
came from a random party?
They came from a random party that I don't really, there's nothing really reported on them because
They lived.
Yeah, they lived and they're also victims to this too. Like their whole house was murdered and they survived.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty traumatic. So sounds like they're not, yeah. Side eye.
Listen, I believe you and I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah, exactly.
But
well,
I mean, you got to investigate all avenues.
yeah, right? Well, just so you know, the police have cleared them as of any suspicion. They were obviously interviewed and everything,
Yeah.
but at this point, they're cleared of any suspicion. And it's stated that the 911 caller is not considered a suspect either. So I don't know if that means possibly the third party or if it's just also doubling down on anybody who lived in the house.
On like, yeah, no, I heard them
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
and
they were traumatized.
Yeah, they were not okay with it.
Also, since then, because this happened like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
since then, Dylan and Bethany have gotten tattoos with their initials, with the family's or the friends' initials on it with like little angel wings around it. So, like, honestly, I doubt that they're involved.
Yeah.
Very fucking traumatic to
Well,
survive.
We're all close friends. And all
Yeah.
that. Like, that fucking
Yeah.
sucks. That sucks.
My
a lot.
personal opinion is that they're not directly involved, but maybe it's someone they know or something. Because, like, why weren't they harmed?
I would think the way you explain the house, my initial reaction is someone comes in from that back
door.
on the second floor, does whatever to Ethan and Zaina, and then goes upstairs, like from there.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that there's either even another floor or that there's another floor with bedrooms.
Exactly.
Also,
So that is
you've just murdered 4 people.
that's a lot of work.
You're not expecting 2 more in this
Exactly.
house. You're like, Jesus Christ,
That's a lot of
got to be
people.
enough. Like, it's
Yeah.
a clown car of homes.
Yeah, there's so many people. So
Yeah,
many
it's
beds.
a lot of people.
It's like Goldilocks in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the theories. So you're onto something.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm basically a
maybe.
detective.
Yeah, you're maybe onto something because, like I said, this isn't solved yet.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Also, not saying anything bad against them, but how bad would you feel sleeping in until 11:40
Yeah.
with like
Dead people all,
all
around
that
you.
upstairs?
Yeah.
Granted,
Oh.
I would sleep until 11:40 if I didn't have kids.
Absolutely. Used to do it all the time, especially after a night of drinking. That's like
100%.
I probably wouldn't have checked on you till like 3.
yeah, right?
And I'd be like, damn, are you ever going to get up?
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Kaylee and Morgan were allegedly found murdered in the same bed. The police did not make this statement. I am gathering that from Kaylee's father's statement because he said at like one of the vigils that the 2 best friends grew up together and they died together in the same bed.
He said that?
He said that. So I'm going with his word.
Yeah.
Like I'm most of any kind of juicy information out of this case comes from the family speaking out.
Because they're not supposed to.
Well, and I think it's accidental slips, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
or they don't know that the police are withholding certain kind of information. Like, I don't know if the police were intentionally like, don't tell anybody that they were in the same bed, or if they're just generically not saying shit.
Yeah.
And then the father just happened to say it like, oh, they were best friends together. They grew up together and they eventually died together, even in the same bed. Like,
Yeah.
that's something I would say, not even thinking about accidentally slipping something
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Now, there could be 2 reasons for this. One, best friends sharing a bed together. That's not that abnormal, especially if you're super fucking close.
And you're drunk and you're like,
Yeah.
let's fucking, I don't know, talk and
Yeah.
touch each other's hair until
We pass out. We do this every time in Bombay.
every time.
Or that maybe they got attacked together. Like one person was being attacked, the other person heard, came, and then they both got attacked in the same room. I'm just speculating wildly.
I tend to lean more towards the first, like they were already hanging out in the bed together.
Yeah.
Versus the other, only because if you were being attacked in your bed and I heard it and I ran in, I probably wouldn't jump in the bed too.
I would, though.
I mean, I might jump on the person.
Yeah,
be
but then you
"Get
would
out of
end up
here."
on the bed, is what I'm assuming. Like, you probably
Not
didn't
the way I tackle.
I'm just assuming you weren't like, oh, hey, let me climb in bed and get attacked too.
Uh-oh, together.
No. More like you probably died in that room and the killer left you on the bed.
Yeah. But they would, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which
Okay.
I guess we don't know what the police know, if it, like, was
Yeah,
a
I
struggle
don't-
throughout the room or
I don't
anything.
even know if they really were found in the same bed, but that's what the dad says, so I'm guessing that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, at least they weren't alone. So
Yeah.
Ethan and Zaina, they were found murdered on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
There's actual crime scene photos, like, you know, reporters and shit people have taken outside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see blood oozing out of the floorboards from Zaina's room
What?
onto, like, the foundation of the house. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, you know how you're like, that sounds like a nice house. And I'm like, sounds like something you might rent to college students.
Sounds like it's not sealed up properly.
Yeah, sounds like there's a hole in the floor.
Oh my God.
But imagine how much blood there
Yeah.
has to be for it to, like, leak out of the wall. So I'm guessing maybe the bed was pushed up against there if they died on the bed. I
Yeah.
don't know that they died on the bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
God.
but you can
How did they die? Do we know?
autopsies confirmed that all victims were murdered with a sharp object, likely a knife.
Mm-hmm.
However, police were not able to recover the murder weapon at the crime scene.
Mm.
They were each stabbed several times with no signs of evidence of sexual assault.
Okay.
So it was just a killing.
That's fucking weird.
Right. It just
Yeah.
adds to the level of mystery.
Yeah.
Also, I should state that every one of these girls were and
Smoking?
are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the guy, Ethan, handsome dude.
Yeah.
No.
So are they like popular people? I mean, they were going to frat parties and stuff, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
they
I'm
have,
guessing, yeah, because frat parties and everything. And
like, ooh, I don't like this.
I know.
I don't like that we don't know.
Yeah, well, just wait. I mean, there's so much more I'm going to tell you, but you still don't know yet. We still don't
Yeah.
know. This is wild. The coroner stated that the victims were sleeping at the time of the attack, and some of them had evidence of defense wounds.
Oh.
But she did not clarify who had the defense wounds, just that some of them did.
Okay.
So it's not that. See, I initially heard that and I thought, oh, at least they were murdered in their sleep and they didn't know. But it sounds like they were sleeping when they were attacked. Then they woke up, fought back.
Yeah.
So that's fucking 10 times more terrifying.
yeah.
Because now all of a sudden you're like, I'm being attacked. And I just woke up.
It's not that I find it hard to believe. I just find it shocking that, like, someone could be murdered upstairs and you don't hear it downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, wake up to it.
Yeah.
And granted, they were drunk or drinking, so they wouldn't wake up
Like
or
the
anything.
calamity taking place.
Yeah, but that sounds loud, especially if there's defensive wounds. That means that you might be like, hey, stop. No.
What's going on up
don't.
there?
Yeah.
I know. This whole case is like baffling. So,
I wonder if they knew him. They had to have known him.
I know. Look, you're doing all the same things I was doing. Okay. Now, it's estimated that the murders took place between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
It's like literally an hour after they went to bed.
Or I don't even know when
right
they went to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you get home at 2. Did they stay up for a little bit and then go to bed at 3? Like, I don't know why that's the specific timeline. I don't know if it's based off of how long they had been deceased for or if it's based off of some other little bit of information that they're not sharing with us. But the timeline is between 3 and 4 a.m. is when they were murdered.
Okay.
Much hasn't been released about the crime scene or order of deaths or anything like that, other than the killer was sloppy and left behind a lot of evidence.
Oh,
And
good.
that there is literally blood everywhere. Everywhere. One investigator described the crime scene as the worst that their department has ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking.
And honestly, if you can see the blood spilling outside of the home, it's got to be bad.
yeah. Well, that leads me to believe that there's like footprints and
Yeah.
fingerprints
Yeah,
and
there's
possibly
gotta
the
be.
killer's blood.
There's gotta be.
They're
Yeah.
going to have a time gathering evidence.
By some miracle, Dylan and Bethany were not harmed in this attack. And speculation is that if the killer had entered from the sliding glass door in the backyard, they may not have known about the first floor. So what you were saying.
Yeah, I totally see that.
Yeah, and they didn't know that there were people even living there. They could have even thought it was a basement or something. But
Yeah.
also, honestly, I've like Google Street Mapped this place. Like, you'd have to come from some random woods or some shit to, like, not know that there's a first floor.
Where do creepers come from?
I know, but, like, it's kind of almost like a corner house and, like, the road curves around it a little bit. So, like, you can clearly see that there's a first floor. Like, I think you'd have to literally be the most random-ass last-second attack to not notice that there's a first floor on this house.
Well, Dylan and Bethany got home first.
Yeah.
So maybe they got home and then Killer's walking around and then he is just there and then he sees Ethan and Zaina come home and he's like clocks them, you know, like, oh,
I'm
those
gonna
two
get those
people went into
people.
that house. And then he sees two more girls go into the house too. And so then in his mind, if he's thinking, oh, there's only 4 people that live here,
Maybe. Yeah, like, doesn't know
it's like, what
that-
if he was watching? I keep saying he, could be a she, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the all-encompassing he, you know.
Yeah. Well, get this. Okay, so there's more, but wait, there's more. Kaylee had a dog living there.
Oh, no.
And the dog's name is Murphy, in case you're wondering.
Oh, he was. Is he a golden retriever? He sounds like a
No,
golden
he
retriever.
looks like a golden doodle of some sort. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Rogan has a dog named Murphy. He's a golden retriever.
Aw, that's cute. I didn't
cute.
know all that about Joe Rogan.
I shouldn't know that
No,
about
Joe
him.
Rogan.
How now, Joe Rogan?
Okay, so Murphy was living there and he didn't bark or anything during the attack, or nobody heard the dog bark or anything during the attack. So, like, Dylan and Bethany never heard the dog. But you've got to assume that the dog was barking, right?
Yeah.
Even if you knew your attacker.
Yeah.
Like, you come hitting on me and my dogs are going to get you.
Yeah.
You, even, you know?
Yeah.
Or they're at
Probably
least going to,
not
like,
me.
yeah, they're at least going to be, like, sniffing around. Like,
They'll be riled up.
they'll be running around. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're playing.
Yeah. Like, what's going on over here? Whoa, it's slippery now.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And also, like, the dog didn't bark the whole morning. Or maybe that's why they went in at 11:30. Like, they woke up at 11 and like, Jesus, Murphy, come on.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like
I'm
to
just
let him
throwing out
or
ideas.
something?
Yeah. Murphy now lives with a man by the name of Jack DeCoeur, who is actually Kaylee's ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
I'm just going to keep giving you more people to suspect. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Jack.
Okay.
Jack and Kaylee had currently broken up.
Okay.
But it was reported that it was a mutual breakup
Okay.
and that the two were still very friendly with each other. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, I guess Kaylee and Jack had been together for 6 years, so it had been a
God
long
damn.
relationship.
So
Mhm.
he knew Murph.
He knew Murph. Like, they probably got Murphy together. That's
Yeah.
probably why he got Murphy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. Kaylee's family says that there's no way that Jack has anything to do with it, and that even though they were broken up, they for sure were going to end up getting married and, like, have their whole life together. Like, they've been together for so long. So they're like, no, you're wasting your time with Jack. Don't worry about Jack. Now, Jack has yet to come out and speak publicly about all of this. His family has made statements on his behalf saying that he's too heartbroken to speak to anybody, and he intends to remain silent out of respect to Kaylee's family and the victim's family, all the other victims.
Okay.
It was recently reported by Kaylee's sister in an interview that the night of the murders, Kaylee and Morgan had called Jack a combined total of 10 times
The night of the murder?
right before the murders.
What?
Right? Allegedly, Jack never picked up the phone because he was sleeping, but Kaylee called Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44 a.m. So I'm wondering if this is where the police got their timeline of 3
Between
a.m.
3
to
and
4,
4.
but I don't know why at 4 that's the timeline. So 6 times between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44, so that's like 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Then Morgan called him from 2:44 a.m. to 2:52 a.m. So that's a total of 8 minutes, and she called 3 times. So it's like Kaylee was calling all the way up to 2:44, calls 6 times, then Morgan takes over calling.
Mm-hmm.
Then at 2:52 a.m., Kaylee makes one final phone call to Jack, and then the two are never heard from again.
So
Yeah,
they were found in the same bed.
same bed.
Now, my theory of them being there together beforehand makes sense in my mind of like, you know, they're hanging out. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they want to get a hold of Jack so badly, but like they're hanging out together and she's like, he's not answering me. And she's like, let me try. And they're like, you know, in
Yeah.
the same bed, like talking, hanging out, calling him, pestering, whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense that they would be together. Kaylee's parents come out recently. Like I said, this is all within like the last 3 weeks. They come out and they say that it was actually Jack who called the girls during those times and that Kaylee's sister had misspoke. But I find that even more confusing because, like,
Why would he call her 6 times and then Morgan?
well, and then why would he say he's sleeping unless the little sister got that wrong too? That Jack was
Yeah.
asleep and didn't pick up.
Yeah.
That's really confusing. And then I could see why he might be calling if he knew that the two had gone out drinking. Like, I could see Lee calling me a bunch after not hearing from me, knowing the bars are closed, and then calling you if I weren't answering.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
then also, why would your journey stop there? Why would you be like, oh, they're not answering, I'm going to go to bed? You would go check, like Lee would come check on me or try to check on me. Or
Not
like,
if you guys were broken up.
yeah, but if you're still close,
Maybe.
just to make sure they're okay. That's the only reason I could see him calling them if that's the case.
Yeah.
But it's so confusing. Like, I don't know. But there were calls that happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I want to say, I didn't write this down because I literally, my sources, there's like 500,000 articles.
Yeah.
But I want to say the police acknowledged the phone calls, but I'm not clear if they acknowledge who called who. But they do say that they don't suspect Jack either. So he gets cleared of suspicion from the police.
Okay.
So I have to trust that they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like their whole job.
Yeah, exactly. But like also, why did nobody leave a message regardless of who called? So then that makes me think,
Because nobody leaves messages, especially not young kids these days.
no?
You would just text and be like, hey, man, just trying to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, that's true. Like, were there any text messages?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if they call, so here's what I'm thinking. I don't know why you wouldn't call 911 if you were being attacked or if you heard an attack going on downstairs or something and you were scared, or maybe you just hear somebody in the house and you just call, like I would call Lee and be like, oh, babe, come check it out or something.
Yeah, I'm scared.
But if I called him so many times and he didn't answer, the last call I'd probably leave a message or text or something and be like, I'm scared. Can you please pick up?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Like,
something.
Let
There
them
would
know
be
what's happening.
There'd be another level of evidence to follow. And
Yeah.
maybe there is and they're not telling us.
Yeah. More like this is serious. It's not, I'm not just calling
Yeah, I'm
for
not
you to
fucking
bring me
around.
toilet paper.
Or they were drunk and the girls were like, hee, let's call Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
But at 21, you don't really do that so much. Unless you're calling to leave voicemails of songs, which I have done several times.
Yeah.
Like one call per line of the song. Yes.
I remember.
Yes, I do recall. Okay, so police have cleared Jack of any suspicion, but that's kind of weird. So the Idaho State Police spokesperson, who is 49-year-old A.A. Ron Snell, or Aaron Snell, he says that the investigators have gathered enough evidence to suggest that the attacks were targeted, but they haven't confirmed if it was targeted to one person, a couple of people, or all of the people. And the police have been asking the public to come forward with any information they may have surrounding that night, no matter how small or unimportant it may seem, because they literally need help.
Yeah, yeah. There's one person walking around that's different now.
Right?
You know? Like,
Right?
all their cumulative friends or acquaintances or people in that school or whatever before winter break are gonna see someone that's different. That's
As
a
different.
little different than they were before.
If it's somebody in the community, if it's not just some rando person.
If it's not
in the
like a
woods.
hobo, yeah.
Which is so random. But I guess the police have received like tons of tips and everything, and they've been checking like so many things out. Like, I didn't even write them all down, but there was like some random person standing in a cul-de-sac with a ski mask on. Like all these random, like every tiny little suspicion is getting reported now.
Yeah.
Because the whole community is like, what the actual fuck? This is terrifying.
well, it's pretty fucking scary. Imagine being
Absolutely.
that house's neighbor.
Oh no, fuck that.
I don't think I would
Hard
be
pass.
staying there until they found the killer and they were like, oh yeah, he wasn't just living in the woods behind the house or whatever. Like,
Actually, I kind of finish on that note, but a lot of students haven't gone back to campus because of that. They don't
It's-
feel safe.
yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, the police have received hundreds of tips so far, and it actually was uncovered, but not confirmed by the police yet. So, like, rumor has it that Kaylee may or may not have had a stalker at the time of her murder.
Oh no.
So, if we were to speculate wildly, it could be deduced that she may have been the targeted individual. Don't know, though.
From
But
this neckbeard individual.
I have noticed on a majority of the articles, they center around Kaylee and Madison the most. Like, the most amount of articles you can find are about Kaylee. Like, Jack and the dog, Kaylee with this stalker. So I don't know. And she's gorgeous. So I don't know if it's just because that, like, standard white blonde-haired chick gets the biggest attention or if there's something to it, you know?
Yeah. Was she?
Or maybe it's my own searching bias or something and I didn't even realize it. But it's literally all the articles are around, most of them are around her.
interesting.
Yeah. Isn't it? I thought that was weird. I'm like, I mean,
It
4
is.
people got murdered. Why are we focusing just on her?
Yeah, you have 3 other people.
Other than the most interesting things that we know about are about her. So maybe that's why. You know, like her family released that they were in the bed together, that there were these calls from Jack.
Yeah.
You know,
the
there's
dog.
actual surveillance of those 2.
Yeah.
There's footage of them eating a taco or whatever.
Yeah. But you have to think that the other people also have stories and families and histories and
Yeah,
whatever.
like I want to know more about them. But it's
Yeah.
hard. All you know is that like Zaina and Ethan went to a frat party that they could walk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not real evidence or anything. So, okay, that's just a side note. The police refused to disclose who the targeted individual might be because they say that that information may compromise the integrity of the case and that they say it's, quote, a delicate question, whatever the fuck that means. They have also backtracked on this statement more recently. Like literally yesterday, I saw an article like published yesterday stating that those attacks were not targeted, which would then indicate that we just have some random person on the loose.
Like a psycho killer?
Yeah, psycho killer. Exactly. And that the whole fucking community is at risk. So that's great.
Yeah. That's fucking terrifying. That's a way to incite panic.
I know. And they just changed their statement to that. But the police have been so fucking wish-washy on everything they say and do, too. So it's like hard to know what's going on.
Man.
But from what I
They've
can...
got to have fucking fingerprints or something from the door, the sliding glass door.
Oh, they
in the
have
back.
to.
There's got to be footprints. Like they know the
Something.
general build, make, model, sex of the person that they're looking for.
Yeah, and they haven't shared shit with us.
Yeah.
So from what I gather from the police spokesperson interview, AA Ron Snell, I'm
Gets
guessing that they
airtime.
don't... Yeah. I'm guessing that they don't want to get cornered into like one idea or theory or anything.
Yeah.
And that they're kind of trying to keep open all possible paths.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's good, right? The police have interviewed over 150 people regarding the case. I'm sure it's more now. This was from like a couple days ago or something. And they're literally still processing the crime scene as
bet.
of today. And it's
bet.
December 2nd. So they're still processing it. I think I read an article yesterday that was published yesterday, again, saying that it is almost completed. Like they've almost completed the crime scene processing, but that
There's got to be so fucking much.
that's the thing. One of the comments was that it's so difficult to collect the DNA because there was so much blood everywhere. There's so many spatters to like analyze and collect and catalog. And
Yeah.
like it's not as easy as the movies as just walking in and aha, here it is. It's literally like a room covered in blood and you have to be able to figure out whose is whose
Yeah.
and
That's
like what's
crazy.
important and what isn't. Yeah.
Well, and the killer's blood's got to be in there somewhere,
It's
especially if
gotta
it was
be.
a knife.
That's what I'm thinking.
So then you have to differentiate like this puddle,
Whose?
but there's like a streak that goes here or something. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how the fuck they do it, but
I
there's
know.
got to be a way.
Oh, it's got to be fucking, a lot of work.
Yeah.
So once they collect all of this, also they have to run it through labs. So it's going to take a while before we know anything.
Yeah.
Especially if they can't solve it, they're not going to release it to the public.
Of course. Yeah.
In the last day or so, some of the lab results have come back, but again, they haven't released any of the information to the public yet. But we're at the stage now where they're starting to get results back.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they're attempting to piece together the crime scene, and they're digging deep into all 4 of the victims' like relationships to see if there's some sort of connecting factor. Now that I have given you like an overarching statement of what the case is to the best of my knowledge, I'm going to give you some random things, some like, talking points, some of my notes. Here's what I've gathered in
Hell
my
yeah.
own speculation. Police have cleared the 2 surviving roomies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dylan and Bethany, of any suspicion. So I'm assuming that the killer either entered through the back sliding glass door or from the balcony on the 3rd floor.
Okay. But that would be hard to get to, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a tree that you could climb,
But who's not just going to come through the glass door?
but also there was a ladder leaned up against the house.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, it was like one of those like A-frame folding ladders, not like the kind that you could like lift up and get to the top of the house. Like you could only go like 8 feet or something.
Could you get to that balcony?
Yeah, if you wanted to. They literally taped the crime scene tape to it, though, so I wonder if it wasn't considered evidence.
The killer definitely didn't use this to get inside.
Yeah, but also they could have entered through the bottom floor. I guess there was a keypad entry to get in
Oh.
on the 1st floor. But it's kind of stated all over the place that because it is a college dorm-ish type, everybody had the key to it. So, like, it wasn't a secret what the code was to get in.
Oh, God.
So, if you're going to go with that it's somebody who knew who lived there and spared Bethany and Dylan, then they might know the keypad.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going with some random rando, which is kind of where I'm leaning, because, like, I feel like Bethany and Dylan would be like, I have some suspicions on who that might be if they were spared.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going with, like you said, they probably entered through the back or from the balcony, but that seems like a lot of work. So I'm just assuming somebody accidentally forgot to lock the back door and somebody opened the door and got in.
Mm-hmm. That's fucking terrifying.
I'm going with that easy theory. Now, the killer used a fixed blade knife for the attacks. That's what was reported. The coroner described the blade as a very large knife. Like, described the wounds as being caused by a very large knife and said that it was hard for her to use the word puncture wound for these because they were so large that they were like gashes. But she was explaining, like, literally a stabbing, like a puncture wound, but that it was so big. Like, this knife was large. So now I'm thinking like machete or tactical machete or something. Because you're not going to get that from like a kitchen knife or from like a Bowie knife in your pocket.
You could get it from a kitchen knife, though, like a freaking 10-inch chef's knife.
Like lengthwise? But she's saying like the puncture wound, the stab.
Yeah, it's like long. Or
I
it's
guess.
Like tall.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a gash.
Like if you go all the way in.
Yeah.
I guess you could.
Who would stop at the tip?
It's got to take like a lot of fucking force to like it's hard to stab somebody.
Yeah, I've never done it.
To like get it all the way that deep to make a tenet. Because the kitchen knife you're talking about like tapers, right? Yeah. I don't know. I immediately
Even so,
thought
it gets to like that long bit at the middle.
Yeah, I immediately just thought like tactile. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could. I don't know if there's any missing kitchen knives.
I feel like a machete or something, though, you don't stab, you hack.
But they have like tactical machetes that they look like what you would expect somebody who fishes a lot to have.
Really?
I don't know if I'm just saying that because my brother probably has one and my brother likes to fish. So in my head,
fishes. Somebody who owns a Honda might have one.
Somebody who had a pager and used to chain smoke and listen to only Eminem.
You know the kind of knife I'm talking about?
Let me show you a picture of this, of what I, like when you Google tactical machete.
Don't tell Brandon this exists.
Well, he probably has one.
I know he has a machete, but I don't know if he has a tactical machete.
Who doesn't have tactical machetes?
He has tactical flashlights.
Yeah, he does. Okay, but look at these. Don't you imagine somebody who has, likes to fish?
Yeah. Or like...
Well, some of them are like a little bit ninja-y.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like
someone
this
who wears
one.
like a silk shirt with blue flames
This
on
one. That's something. Like somebody's just like, I like to fish.
Yeah, that's an I like to fish. That's kind of like a what I imagine a bayonet looks like.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll take it.
Well, it's like pointy too, but long and like not well taken care of. You just strap it to something.
But I'm imagining this, and I'm imagining 100% you are going to cut yourself.
100% you're going to cut yourself. There's a little finger guard though, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
But also, that's a fucking terrifying knife.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be something. Like, the coroner is set, like...
The coroner is being descriptive about it for a reason. She's seen stuff before.
Yeah, I'm guessing if it were a kitchen knife, she'd say possibly a kitchen knife. But when she's like, Jesus Christ, it's hard to even categorize these as puncture wounds. That makes me think it's something more extravagant and rarer.
Just chose the two hardest words to say.
Rural. In this rural era.
Oh, man.
Guessing, speculating wildly. By the way, all of this shit is my personal opinions. Like from here on, actually, the whole thing is basically like what I gathered from articles. So don't come at me. And especially if things have changed since this gets published.
Yeah.
I'm not an oracle. I don't know what's going on in the future.
Unfucking fortunately.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so it's hard. I'm guessing I'm going with tactical knife of some sort.
Okay, tactical machete.
Giant ass tactical knife. That somebody's like, I use this for hunting and also for killing.
Yeah, like if I had to defend myself.
Yeah. Also, I am biasly assuming that this person is a guy.
I did too.
Because 4 fucking people, that's a lot of stabbing, a lot of killing, a lot of stamina. And that's either a dude who's strong or it is a woman with a
who does CrossFit.
A lot of anger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess women can be strong too. I don't know why I assume this, but that's where my head's going. So just so you know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you said, that's a very ragey killing. And so for
Oh
a
my
woman
God,
to do it,
yes.
it's not really a woman's MO
Yeah.
for
They'd
the most
like,
part. It's like poison,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or something dainty or delicate.
yeah, like fucking, oh, I'm just going to creep in and slay them all in the middle of the night. That's just fucking,
A lot of work.
not today.
I have so many plans.
The
for
Golden
today.
Girls are on reruns. So here's the thing, too. You're doing a lot of stabbing. There's blood everywhere. The killer's got to be covered in blood.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a ton of evidence left behind, like we said. And that killer had to have changed their clothes somewhere. So either somebody saw somebody covered in blood, or the killer changed their clothes in the house and there's evidence there. Or they changed their clothes outside of the house and there's evidence there. Like there's got to be something somewhere
Yeah.
that either somebody witnessed or has the potential to witness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Especially if it's a random or a hobo or a fucking stranger or something, like
Yeah.
a person living in the woods. Where are you putting your dirty clothes now?
Yeah. Like there's got to be a ball of clothes around there.
Yeah.
Also, I should state that the police actually recovered contents from 3 dumpsters that were around the house, but I don't think anything's ever come from it. They haven't really stated if anything was related, and they know that they don't have the weapon.
Knife, yeah.
The police have been checking all around local stores for recent sales for a like large fixed blade knife, but they haven't gotten any leads yet. Mm-hmm. The killer might have wounds from the attack, like we said. So here's what I'm saying. Like, it's probably a dude covered in blood, might have sores on their hands now. Still, probably.
Gashes, yeah.
Like, we could still be on the lookout for somebody like this. The killing seemed personal. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand the motive yet. Like, at first I thought maybe it could be jealousy over Kaylee and Morgan's close friendship or something. You know, like maybe the ex is like, oh my gosh, you're always with Morgan. Let me just fucking kill everybody. Or maybe the other 2 roommates were super jealous for something. But like nothing is really sticking, you know? Like it doesn't feel like solid enough. And that doesn't explain why Ethan and Zaina got murdered also.
Yeah. I could see the stalker angle. I could see a random angle. I could see someone who's scorned by one of them.
It has to be something, but like all 4 of them. Like why? Why all 4 of them? Don't you think it would all be...
I think that if someone wanted to kill you and I was there, they would definitely murder me too, and vice versa. Like, we are almost the same person, you know?
Yeah, I could
to
understand that.
someone's crazy's brain.
But then Ethan and Zaina, that just seems like...
Well, that, to me, I think that they were collateral damage on that's where they entered, the floor that they entered. Maybe
But then they
were
went
looking for
into
the
their
bedroom.
room.
They might have been looking for the bedroom of Kaylee and Morgan. Or Kaylee or Morgan,
Yeah.
you know? And then they came across 2 people sleeping in a bed, and they were like, well, I'm here.
Might as well just...
I'm going to have to take care of this. Maybe they woke up, and they were like, oh, shit, don't tell anyone that I'm here.
And then they still finished the job upstairs.
Yeah. Well, maybe, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they went into Ethan and Zaina's room, and they were like, it's not Kaylee and Morgan. But then Ethan woke up and was like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then he was like, oh, no. And then they kill them. And then they go upstairs to be like, well, now I'll go find Kaylee and Morgan upstairs.
Could be.
You've gone that far.
Could be. Seems like a lot of work.
The whole thing seems like a lot of work. It's 4 people.
I feel like it has to be something related to all 4. Like, I feel like all 4 were targeted for a reason. I don't know why.
But then I feel like Dylan and Bethany downstairs, like they would have been targeted too.
Yeah, but that's what... I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what to say.
I feel like it's one of the upstairs, like Kaylee or Morgan.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems to be what I initially thought too, but the more I sit on it, I'm just kind of like we say, maybe because I'm not a killer, but we say collateral damage, but it's almost like, holy shit. You know, if I were going in to kill somebody...
How much collateral damage are you willing to
execute? I guess, though, if you're like, oh, fuck, they saw my face, and
That's
it's
what I'm-
somebody they know...
Well, that, or they woke up. Like, if Ethan or Zaina woke up and they were like, uh-oh, I'm going to sound the alarm now that there's a stranger in the house. They're not just going to be like, oh, they're upstairs. Good night.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Could be. Okay, so
and if you've already committed to killing someone,
I guess.
like, you've
going
entered
full
the house
throttle.
now, you're all in.
Yeah. Nothing was stolen, and nobody was assaulted sexually or anything.
Nothing was stolen.
I guess nothing has been reported stolen, so nothing of value or large whatever. So it literally was just for murder.
Yeah. I would bet that something smaller was taken.
Like a trophy?
Yeah,
I'm
like
sure.
I don't know, like a headband or underwear or whatever, like
yeah.
something
Socks.
small that you're not going to be like, the TV's gone. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
it's not a robbery.
But that's what I'm saying. I guess that's what I was getting at. Like the motive wasn't robbery. It wasn't sexual.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like rage. It's anger. Or
Yeah.
if it's a rando, it's just an insatiable lust for blood. I don't know. Like what? Who's gonna randomly come in and murder somebody?
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
I feel like it can't be a random person. Right?
I would like to hope not.
But then that makes me think that Bethany and Dylan were purposely spared. Or they were supposed to be somewhere else that day. Like it was publicly known that they were supposed to be somewhere else that day and they changed plans last second. Nobody else knew about it.
Maybe. I'm still stuck on this stalker theory or whatever. Like someone who wants to be in the group but isn't in the group. So they don't know the inner workings of the group. They don't know the keypad downstairs. They don't know where everybody sleeps. And they don't necessarily know how many people live there. They just know that their target lives there.
Yeah.
And they know that there are other people, but they're not interested in the other people. They're interested in their target.
I don't
whoever
know
that
though,
might
but
be.
that just seems so odd.
It does, but I feel like it's someone who
It
wants to be
seems-
on the inside but is on the outside.
Yeah, but it seems so odd that they would enter from the backyard then if that's the case. Like if you look up their address, it's going to take you to the front door. Now, about the victims, we know that Zaina was actually one of the victims who had defensive wounds because her father said in a statement that she fought like hell to the end.
Oh, God.
So that's one little bit of information.
Oh, God.
I know, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's going to be heartbreaking when they do come out with all the details. Like, it's already heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But it's almost like kind of nice to not have to know all the details. Like, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
So we know Zaina was one who fought, who had defensive wounds. So I'm guessing Ethan probably did too?
Yeah, you're not going to sleep through that.
No. The coroner said that they were all stabbed in the upper body and chest area, with each having only one fatal blow. So, like, the killer did the fatal blow and then moved on.
Oh.
So I'm speculating that they were all stabbed in the heart or neck, and that's what the fatal blow was. Mm-hmm. Based on the layout of the house, I'm speculating that Zaina and Ethan were the first to be murdered, assuming they entered on the floor there, on the backyard floor, and that the killer wasn't aware of the first floor.
Yeah.
I'm running
yeah.
with that theory, I guess. Either
Yeah.
that or Bethany and Dylan know the person and they were spared.
Yeah.
Not that they know who it is, but like the person knows them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And was like, oh, but there's nothing against them.
Yeah,
But
like I'm
she
not
looked
trying to
at me
blame
sideways
them.
once.
Yeah, exactly. So about Kaylee and Madison's last movements. So the girls went to that bar called Corner Club, just so you know. It's called Corner Club. And they were there from 10 p.m. till 1:30 a.m. They were at the Grub Truck food truck from 1:30 till 1:40. And then they called the Uber. And the ride, I Google mapped it, is like a 5 to 6 minute Uber ride. So that would mean that they waited for 10 minutes for an Uber. But that seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
The Uber driver would have dropped them off on that first floor area. So if we're speculating that the Uber driver could possibly be a suspect, they would be aware of the first floor.
Yeah, true.
And I'm going with this theory that the person didn't know the first floor existed.
Yeah,
The killer
yeah.
didn't know about that. So, I mean, like I said, the police have already cleared them, but I'm just like kind of throwing out more
Evidence as to
speculation.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not evidence, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the
Reasoning.
local police have actually been getting a lot of ridicule from the public based on how slow the progression of the case is. Allegedly, crime scenes weren't exactly secured,
Oh, no.
and tire tracks were actually photographed like nearly a week after the murder. So
What
it's
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, and it's snowing and shit there. So you would think that that would have been like day
Priority
one.
number one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Get all the evidence that could go away.
Uh-huh. They eventually widened the crime scene to include the first floor parking lot area. So again, more evidence that like,
People were there, parked there probably.
yeah, crime scene could have been compromised
Yeah.
if it wasn't already first marked off. And also that tells me they found something. So I'm assuming maybe blood tracked out or something. So then does that mean that first floor door was used and that's
Yeah.
why? Or they could have come from the backyard down the grade.
Yeah,
And maybe
from the
that's
side.
and
Yeah.
maybe that's why the parking lot is also included. Either
Yeah.
way, contamination of some crime scenes is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Police claim that there was no forced entry into the home, suggesting that they either knew their killer or a door was unlocked or that the killer knew like the code or something to get in the front door.
Yeah.
So now many University of Idaho students, they no longer feel safe on campus, like I said. And
Obviously.
and they haven't returned back since their Thanksgiving break. And the community is absolutely heartbroken and shook over these murders.
I fucking bet.
I know. And they're growing frustrated because there is literally still a killer on the loose as of right now.
How fucking scary is that?
Isn't that fucking terrifying? So there's so many more angles I could have gone off of this. There's like tons of like web sleuth articles, you know.
Yeah.
There's tons of speculation, Reddit threads that you can go read up on. It is wild and confusing, but like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's scary.
What do you think? You think that Kaylee and Morgan were the targets?
Yeah.
And some
Or
neckbeard
one
stalker
of them.
dude?
Yeah.
And that Zaina and Ethan are collateral damage from being entered from the back. But why would the stalker come from the back door?
Didn't know the code.
Maybe
Just didn't know the code. Looked
And then
around the
didn't-
house, came to the back door. It was open because there was no
assumed
forced
no one
entry.
lived downstairs.
Yeah, you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think someone like. If I find 4 people in a house, I'm like, that's got to be all of them.
I would think that it's like what you said, like open the first door. Oh, fuck, it's not them. Go upstairs, because that would be my natural. Like, that's a basement, a gaming room or
Yeah.
something. I'm going to go upstairs
Bedrooms
for
are
a
upstairs.
room,
Yeah.
find who I'm looking for, and leave.
Yeah.
Side note, really sorry about if there's background noise of like jackhammering.
Yeah, that just started,
Yeah, it's daytime and my neighbors are doing some work.
apparently.
Just gentrification happening in progress.
No big deal. Sirs, it is a weekday. You should
Honestly.
be working
Honestly. So,
like us.
yeah. Hey, it's our lunch break, okay?
That's right. That's right.
We deserve it.
Yeah, we get one.
So that is my story. That's all I have for you right now.
Well, that's a fucking doozy. You were right.
I'm sure as more is released or whatever, we'll be updating on our social media because Crittia is bomb at that. Mm-hmm. But like, what the actual fuck? You guys let us know what your theories are. What do you think? Like, what have you heard?
Yeah.
Come join us in this
Join us.
crazy world. You could do that on our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I said them all out of order. That felt weird, huh?
That was weird.
But I said them all. Our handle is at ISGD Podcast. Come join the goddamn pod group on Facebook. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear all your speculation and theories on this. Also, if you guys start hearing news about it, come at us so that we can be up to date too, because I'm fucking
Here for it.
attached to this case now. Like, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to email us, you could do so at isgdpodcast@gmail.com, or you can snail mail us at
P.O. Box 2764, Spring Valley, California, 91979.
9. And I think we will end it there. What do you think?
Yeah, do we want to talk about Moonblood?
Oh, yeah, Operation Moonblood. If you need help during the holidays, or if you are somebody who wants to help somebody during the holidays, please email us at isgdpodcast@gmail.com. Put in the header Operation Moonblood 3.0 and let us know which side of the page you're on, and we will hook you up with somebody that you can either help or who can help you, or will help you, or whatever we can do. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's make the holidays
Happy.
Holly again.
We need more helpers.
Yeah, we do need more helpers. So if you can help, give
Come
us
on
a shout.
in. Yeah.
Give us a shout. Otherwise, bye,
appreciate
guys.
Bye.